Hello! So this is Chrometheus. This is a high-end Threadripper build with an RTX 2080 Ti that I finished putting together back in September of 2020. It's been nearly 2 years since I put this rig together, and till this day, it still has never successfully booted. We're gonna talk about that today, and what my plans are to get it working in the very near future. Before we continue, special thanks to Karma for sponsoring this video. We all have that one item we keep watching like a hawk, waiting anxiously for the price drop so we can finally pull the trigger. But if you're anything like me, you always miss the price drop, whether it's because you're too busy gaming, working, or lying in bed questioning your life choices. But today, my friends, regret ends and Karma begins. Karma is a free app and Chrome extension that scans the web to save you money on thousands of products, notifies you of price drops, finds coupons, and more. Just go to Karma's website or the Chrome Web Store and you can install the plugin in mere seconds to start using it virtually everywhere. Get notifications via email or mobile push when an item you save comes back in stock, goes on sale, or has an active coupon code. If you're on the product page of an item that you're interested in, just click on the little Karma icon floating thingy on the side of the page and choose what notifications you want enabled for that item. You can also create custom lists to keep your wish list items organized for easier tracking. This will automatically notify you if something on your list goes on sale or drops in price. Another thing Karma is great at is scanning your cart for any active coupon codes and applying them for you at checkout. This is a desktop-only feature though, so you're going to want to install that Chrome plugin if you don't want to miss out on any great deals. Now, I mostly use Karma on Amazon because I really like my Prime shipping, but Karma is also partnered with thousands of other stores and brands, so you're bound to save money whether you're shopping for everyday items like clothes or tech, or something more niche. My favorite Karma feature though is that you earn cash back via PayPal when you shop select retail partners. In this way, Karma's not only saving you money, they're literally putting it back into your pocket. So make the most of your online shopping experience and click the link in the description to start using Karma for free today. So because I put this system together so long ago, there's some of you who have joined the channel after the fact and have no idea if this is your first time seeing or even hearing about this PC. And those of you who watched the build series way back then, it's been so long that you probably also forgot all the little details about it and why it's not working. Its whole story, more or less. So just to quickly recap, I put it together in 2020, tail end of 2020, and it was beautiful. I mean, it still is beautiful. It's never been used, but it wouldn't boot. And the reason it's not booting is because of the graphics card. Again, we have an RTX 2080 Ti in here, and obviously it's all blocked up, full loop, but for whatever reason, the card isn't working. I did try remounting the water block at some point, and this is back in 2020 because I figured, well, maybe there's not enough tension that the block is providing onto the die, and maybe that's keeping it from actually giving us a video signal. That didn't seem to be the issue because even after remounting it, it still wasn't working. I already verified that the motherboard and CPU were working totally fine, all the RAM, everything else checks out. It's really just the GPU. So what I want to do today, and disclaimer, you're not going to see the finished product booting today. That's not what this video is. We're not trying to get it up and running today. What I really want to do in this video is just prep Chrometheus a bit for a new GPU. Obviously, there's no point in putting a current gen GPU in here when we've got the RTX 4000 series right around the corner, which is what I really want to put in here, maybe an RTX 3090, since that's going to be launching in just a couple months here. And that's going to switch things up with this build, quite a bit actually, because whatever block I get for that 4090 or whatever the hell NVIDIA decides to call it, it's not really going to line up with the current block, with this EK block. I might not even go with EK again. I might get a completely different brand, a different water block from a different manufacturer, but these fittings aren't probably gonna line up exactly like they do here. And so I might have to redo some things with the distro plate and redo some tubing. It's gonna be a whole process. So to cut down on the time it'll take for me to get a new GPU in here and get it up and running, I kind of wanted to do some disassembly today because that can take some time, draining the loop, just taking everything out, and then also verifying that the CPU and motherboard and RAM still work. I mean, again, I haven't really used it ever, and it hasn't really been turned on in almost 2 years, but you never know. Hardware can be funny, something like that sometimes. Sometimes hardware can just die from idling. Maybe it dies from sadness, not being loved or used. So we're gonna test that out today as well. We're just gonna clean out everything, troubleshoot the parts that I think are still working, that should be still working, and then we'll also talk a little bit more about what the finished product is gonna look like once the RTX 4000 series is here. For the record, at this point in time, I am not planning to swap out the motherboard board platform. I'm gonna keep it, it's a 3970X Ryzen Threadripper 3rd gen, and it's got 64 gigs of DDR4 in there. Now, obviously, there's much newer CPUs and platforms that have hit the market since then, but this is by and large an editing system. Obviously, you can game as well, but it's not really optimized for that. There's much faster gaming CPUs on the market at this point, but that's not the point of this system. I think I'm gonna keep it, unless like AMD drops a surprise bomb on us with like Threadripper 4. If that comes out later this year, then I'm really gonna have to consider swapping this out. But for now, 3970X is still a fantastic CPU for editing, 32 cores, 64 threads, and all that jazz. And just to get you guys up to speed, in case you forgot, there's a DIMM.2 kind of expansion, not really an expansion card, but it's using sort of like a RAM module, but instead of actual RAM dies, it's got two M.2 slots on it. So I did have two 2 terabyte NVMe drives in here that were PCIe Gen 3 at the time. There's no Gen 4 on this board, so that wouldn't matter. So I had 4 terabytes of NVMe storage there, and I have this expansion card. This is an expansion card from Asus, which has 4 M.2 slots on it, and I had I had 8 terabytes of rated storage here, NVMe storage. But since then, all of the drives have been removed from both the DIMM.2 card as well as this expansion card, because it's been almost 2 years, guys. And I was like, you know what? These drives aren't doing anything. I've got a lot of builds in the pipeline that are actually working and that need to get done. So over time, I've just slowly, one by one, plucked all of the SSDs from the system. This has no storage in it whatsoever right now. So obviously, I'll have to get some replacements for that when the time comes. But for now, why don't we go ahead and start by draining the loop and just taking a closer look at some of this hardware. We'll start with troubleshooting some of these parts. All right, Chrometheus is semi-disassembled, and it went pretty smoothly. Overall, draining the loop wasn't too bad. There was some water spillage, but mostly at the bottom of the case where there's no wires or anything like that. I had plenty of rags on hand to soak that all up. So we're looking pretty good here. I wanted to take a closer look now that we have some of the parts outside of the system, particularly the GPU. I wanted to take a close-up look at the water block, see how it's doing. This is really the first time I've seen it up close since I first put it together so long ago. So I can do a closer visual inspection to see if there's any kind of buildup, any weird like corrosion happening, as well as with the metal tubing. We'll take a look inside of these, make sure nothing funky is going on, and then finally we'll double check our fittings and O-rings to make sure that that's all solid, because I will be potentially reusing a lot of these things when I have the RTX 4000 series card in here. So I want to make sure that there's no like rips or tears in any of the O-rings, no corrosion, stuff like that. So starting with the GPU over here, it actually looks pretty good. I should mention that I did clean the loop out. I cleaned out all the parts, the water blocks, as well as the metal tubing with Mayhem's Blitz kit. It's like a 2-part kit or whatever. It's not like a long-term effective inhibitor or anything. It's not necessarily like a long-term biocide, but it is useful for cleaning out all the parts before you actually put the loop together. So I did do that. I didn't put any biocide inside of the loop after the fact though, or maybe I did. I actually can't remember. I'll have to look at the videos. But either way, it looks pretty good here. There is like there's some markings here, but I don't think that's corrosion. That just looks like, I don't know, some water staining or something like that. It's kind of hard to tell, but it doesn't look alarming. Everything else looks really clean, and I was kind of expecting this because I didn't really see anything weird going on with the monoblock on our Zenith 2 Extreme. That's been looking fine and dandy over the many months, so it's no surprise that the GPU block is looking in good shape as well. I'm a little more concerned about the metal tubing, because I mean, maybe I'm just being paranoid because I've never really used metal tubing before this build, but because it's all metal and stuff, I know it's copper, it's nickel-plated copper, so it's non-corrosive and stuff, but anything is possible. So far, looks pretty good. I know you guys can't really see it all that well, but I'm taking a look here and it looks pretty good there. That one looks good. Obviously, you can't really see too far deep into there. I'd have to get a light in there to double check. Let me get a light. All right, that actually looks perfect. Looks really good. No red flags, or green flags, if we're talking about corrosion. Ooh, little, is that crust? What is that crust? Can't tell. That's just like water sediment buildup. And I did use distilled water. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I used distilled water only for this build. I'm done using any of the colored crap that gunks up your loop and causes tons of issues down the line. Sometimes even within like a week, some of those coolants can really damage your loop. Uh-oh, is that, oh, that looks a little green. You guys see that? You know what? I'm gonna take this little bit of paper towel that I have left. I ran out of paper towel. I didn't know I was gonna be doing this build today, for this video. I'm gonna try to get a sample from inside here. Didn't really return anything, but it looks like I wiped it off. It looked a little green, it looked a little sus, but that's the only bit I've seen so far. It was a really small amount. Yeah, so far so good. Like I said, I probably will be reusing some of these pipes, but I'll probably also be making some new ones once I get the new GPU in here. Because again, the fittings on that block are probably not gonna line up exactly with the EK block that I currently have. Last thing to check is O-rings. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Aha, see, this is good. This is good that I did this video, because there is, if you can see it, focus, come on. There we go. Can you see it? There's a rip. There's a rip in this O-ring right there. Ripperoni. Oh shit. I think this is the only one that took an L. The other ones all check out. These all look good. Yeah, so it's just this one. I can't remember which fitting this was on, but it doesn't really matter. That's the one thing about metal pipes, metal tubing, is that you gotta be careful. If you don't sand it down, if you don't, what is it called, chamfer? If you don't chamfer the edges well, like see, I chamfered mine so they're not super sharp. Otherwise, they're gonna cut right into your O-rings. But apparently, even if you do it, there's still a chance that, you know, it can tear through one of those O-rings. They're not really the most durable, they're just made of rubber. And so, you know, metal versus rubber, guess who's gonna win that battle? But fortunately, there was only one bad O-ring, so I'll just have to replace this guy. This is good I checked, because if I didn't check this and I put a new GPU in here and I booted the system and it was all working, it could have leaked. It could have easily leaked, whether that leak would have happened immediately upon first boot or if it would have happened 3 to 6 months to a year down the line. Eventually something's gonna give, and it's an experience that I've had unfortunately once or twice, and it is not something I'd like to relive. So I'm really glad that I'm double checking all this stuff before we add new hardware to the build. So yeah, that's a bad O-ring. I'm gonna have to mark that one. Let's put that one by the cup of water. Outcast, we'll isolate him from the others. But overall, not too shabby. The fact that we only had one bad O-ring, everything else looks good. These fittings we don't really need to inspect. These are just the caps, so they don't really come in contact with any liquid, any coolant, or anything like that. They look perfectly fine. Although I will double check the insides of the actual fittings here. Will it stay focused if I zoom? No, not really. But you can kind of see it's a little grimy in there, a little grimy, but it's not corroded. So it just needs a little bit of a cleaning, and we should be good to go. At this point, we can start troubleshooting stuff. Obviously the motherboard and CPU, but even though we know this GPU isn't working in this build, I kind of want to just throw it onto a different test bed, completely different hardware, and see if it still doesn't work. Okie dokie, we've got the RTX 2080 Ti on the test bed. Just a simple little Ryzen system here, Ryzen 5 3600X, 16 gigs, or that might be 32 gigs DDR4, and Aorus X570 Master. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. I'm not expecting it to work, but you never know. And obviously this isn't proper, right? This should have a loop hooked up to it. This is not going to be able to cool the GPU for any extended period of time, but it should be enough to just get us to post or boot if the card does in fact work. It should be fine for that. But I obviously have my doubts. So far, nothing. And I did plug in DisplayPort and HDMI just to test both video outlets at once, or outputs, I should say. Let me go ahead and DisplayPort, no signal. No signal. Okay, well, what if we just change the input to HDMI? Let's just say in the off chance that the DisplayPort output is busted, because that's happened to me even recently on my new HP. One of the display ports wasn't working and it was driving me crazy. It took me a while to figure that out, but let's try to switch this over to HDMI. Which HDMI are we in? Damn it. This is HDMI 1. Okay, no signal. GPU's still not working here too. Okay, that's fine. At this point, I'm not gonna spend any more time trying to figure out why this isn't working or if it'll ever work again. It's pretty much a lost cause. It's an RTX 2080 Ti, which is still a really good card, but it's not going into Chrometheus anymore, and I honestly do not need it to work as badly as I need the rest of the system to work. So let's move on to testing out the board. As far as the board goes, you can see that I've pretty much disconnected all of our non-essential devices, you know, in inputs, I/O or whatever, USB, fans and stuff. I've only left the essentials connected. such as the EPS power for the CPU, of course. But that's pretty much it. Does this have, does Threadripper have, Threadripper does not have an iGPU, obviously. So we're gonna have to get another graphics card that we know works. Go over here, Where's my go-to, this little guy? GTX 1050, right? 1050 Ti? Yeah, my 1050 Ti. Love this thing. It's great for troubleshooting because it doesn't need any cables, just gets all of its power supplementally through the expansion slot, or the PCIe slot, rather. Let's go ahead and pop this guy in. And we already got our monitor and peripherals set up over there, so let me just plug those in. Hold on, give me a sec. All right, come on, you big lug. Get over here. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten how heavy Chrometheus is. He's such a big boy. Okay, all right, display port. Okay, look at that. All the stuff's lighting up. That's a good sign. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, am I clear to just power it on? Should I lay it down? I feel like I wanna lay it down. I'm gonna lay it down. Makes me feel safer. All right, nice and easy. There's still a little bit of water. Okay, a little bit of water is trying to creep out of one of these fittings. So let's unplug from power. Yes. Oh, it's making bubbly noises. I don't like that. Don't make bubbly noises. Oh shit. Ah, it's leaking out of the top. I forgot to plug the top, damn it. Fortunately, that's not going to hit any wires. Everything's fine. Do not model me in any way, shape, or form when it comes to custom loop safety. I am literally the worst. My track record of fails is impressive, actually. So yeah, that was a bit of a scare, but we're all good now. By putting the system on its side, obviously we're draining some of the reservoirs a bit. I think there's still a little bit of fluid in there, but most of it has gone into the distro plate. Fortunately, not enough of it has gone in there to the point where all these fittings just start spewing water. There was one that was leaking a little bit, but it was really minor and I was able to soak it up pretty easily. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go for a test boot. I made sure everything else is dry, completely dry, bone dry, not a tear in the crowd, I think. You know what, actually, now that all the water is in the distro plate, I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to drain it. I have to do it carefully because we still have some open fittings here. This hose is not quite long enough to reach the bucket on the floor. You know what, I could put the bucket up here. It's not really a bucket, it's a bowl. Release the Kraken. Oh no, ah! This was not well planned. Okay, we're ready. Let's try this again. Where's the power button? Power button's down here. Ready, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I was like, I thought I unplugged all the fans. It's just the GPU fan there. Okay, so far so good. Looks like getting a memory code. Oh, it's just checking. It's just going through all of the various tests. Still no video signal. We'll give it a sec. Oh wait, I think it's still on HDMI. No signal. Why no signal? Still going through, still checking things. Oh, BIOS is updating. Automatic BIOS update, that's interesting. I guess ASUS thought nearly 2 years was too long to go without a new BIOS, so they've done me the solid of updating it for me. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Actually, that's kind of dangerous. Wait, hold on. Actually, that was really bad because we don't have proper cooling on the CPU, and now we're getting a post error. Oh no, wait. Hold on, this happened to me before. I think there was a time in between when I finished building Chrometheus and now, maybe about a year and a half ago, where I tried updating the motherboard BIOS and something went wrong in the middle of it. I didn't make a video on it. I was just off camera and I was like, I should update the BIOS. I wonder if I could update the BIOS. And I think the system crashed or something, or it lost power at some point during the BIOS update. And I don't think I was able to get the board working after that. So maybe that's why I was just trying to finish that BIOS update just now, but the BIOS is, I bricked the BIOS. I bricked the BIOS somehow, and so it's not gonna work. We do have BIOS flashback on here. I mean, I could try doing BIOS flashback. I could try updating it that way. This has suddenly turned into another one of those Kyle fail videos. Isn't that every video though? Okay, first things first, let me just see if I can save the BIOS right now. BIOS flashback LED just went out. It was blinking for about maybe 3 minutes or so, and then it just went out. So that's proper behavior. That means, that indicates that it updated successfully. At least in my experience, that's usually how it goes. That's what it does. It's how it behaves when the BIOS update goes well. Whether or not that fixed our issue, we'll find out right now. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Please, 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 please. How many times have you guys seen me do this, where I'm just standing in front of the screen, praying to the PC gods, hoping for a video signal? I feel like this is a pattern with me. Come on, man. Really? So far, no post error, but we'll give it a bit more time. Hopefully a video signal comes first. Ah, shoot! Damn it! Post error again. What the frick? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. What do I do? What do I do if there's a post error? Does it say in the manual? Usually post error just means you're totally f***ed, but I want to see if there's anything official in here. Updating the BIOS may have risks. No shit. If the BIOS program is damaged during the process and results in the system's failure to boot up, please contact your local ASUS service center. Shit! I'm not going to contact ASUS. That's ridiculous. I'd have to be completely clueless and desperate to do that.
Thank you for calling ASUS product support. Para español, presione.
Thank you for calling ASUS. This is Gio. May I please have your serial number to better assist you?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Your voice is very low volume. I can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
It's still pretty quiet, but I think I can make out what you're saying, just barely. You needed a serial number?
Yes, the serial number of your product.
Where can I find that? On the box?
Yes. If you still have the box, there should be a label S/N or SN.
Okay, is that on the inside of the box or the outside of the box?
Outside.
On the outside. All right, give me a second here. Okay, I'm trying to find it on the box right now. Looking for SN. Is it on the back? On the side? Oh yeah, here it is. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Let's see, SN. All right, you ready? Z as in zebra, 6.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you for that. And may I please have your first and last name?
It's Kyle Hansen. So basically, the board is not working. I'm not getting a video signal. And the OLED screen that's on the board says post error is the error that it's giving me. It's a post error. I think what happened was, several months ago, if my memory serves me right, I tried updating the BIOS and something interrupted the process. I don't know if I can't remember if I lost power or just I don't know, something happened. But ever since then, the board hasn't been working properly. I tried to update the BIOS again using the BIOS flashback utility at the back of the board. I tried that several times, and it just still no effect. So I'm pretty convinced that I'm gonna have to send the board in or just get a replacement or something like that. But I wanted to just call to see if maybe there was any other troubleshooting steps you had in mind that I haven't thought of yet.
So just to confirm, sir, is this issue happened when you try to update the BIOS version?
Yes.
But as you have mentioned that you have a multiple motherboard that is the same model, are they all both the same? It's not even posting, or this only motherboard?
It's just this one. The other one isn't working because I dropped a giant Threadripper processor into the socket and bent like 30 pins.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry to hear that, sir.
Yeah, it was very sad.
And also,
Okay, great. So if I'm understanding correctly, I can send my board in, I can RMA it to you guys, and if you find out that it in fact has been bricked and it's not working, then it's still under manufacturer's warranty, and you guys could send me a new one?
It's not a new one, so it's a replacement, certified.
Oh, like a refurbished model?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, that's fine. That's totally cool. I mean, as long as it works, that's all that matters.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do that.
Okay, and is there any physical damage to your motherboard right now?
Physical damage? No. Emotional damage, maybe.
And have a great night.
You too. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Well, that's pretty cool. I really didn't think this board was still under warranty, but I guess I can RMA it, and they'll potentially send me a new one. I mean, it'll be refurbished, but still a working board. A nice replacement. That's pretty awesome. Or I could just contact my rep at ASUS and have them send me a new one tomorrow. which I still could do. But that's assuming Asus will send me another one of these boards, because this is the second Zenith 2 Extreme that they've had to send me. As I said to the guy on the phone, the first one I damaged by dropping a Threadripper chip into the socket and took out a bunch of pins. It was just gone in an instant. That was really sad. But this one is now toast. Now this one's totally toast. It's trying. It's trying. You can see it's like it wants to live. It's all lit up and stuff. And it's like, I can make it. I can pull through. But I don't think it can. I think it's pretty much toast. So yeah, I think Asus has to be so tired of giving me Zenith 2 Extremes. These are what, $600-700 boards a piece, if not more. I feel guilty. I feel guilty having to keep hitting them up and asking them for these boards that I keep messing up. It's my fault. Everything is my fault, 100%. I'm to blame. I'll be the first to admit that. But I feel like this time around, I should go through the proper channels and RMA the board like an average customer. And hey, maybe that'll actually be educational, because I'll get to experience a bit more of Asus's customer service and see how good or not so good that goes. But so far so good. The guy on the phone was really nice, super helpful, very supportive, and solved my issue, you know, as an average customer. Solved it pretty efficiently. So I don't know. I guess depending on when this video goes up, what do you guys think I should do? Should I just contact Asus, my rep at Asus, and just have them send me a board? Or would you like to see me try to go through the Asus RMA process and maybe document my findings on it? I don't know if it would really warrant a full video, but I could at least talk about it in the next Chrometheus video that I do, which could potentially be soon, if the 4000 series comes around soon. Or maybe I'll even do another Chrometheus video before that, because what else can we do? What else can I do to Chrometheus right now? What Chrometheus content can I really make right now until I get a new board, A, and a shiny new RTX 4000 series card, B? I don't know. If you guys have any ideas, maybe what I could do is, I don't know, maybe bling up some of the fans. Nah, that's all just boring cosmetic stuff. There's nothing really meaty. I guess that does make a strong argument for asking Asus for another Zenith 2 Extreme, because I would get the board faster, most likely, and then I'd be able to produce another Chrometheus related video more quickly, instead of having to wait for the RMA process, which I think the guy said 7 to 10 business days. That doesn't include weekends and stuff. But yeah, oh geez, this is all crazy. This is all crazy because I'm leaving. I'm going on a plane tomorrow in Greece. By the time you're watching this, if you're watching this video right now on the day of upload, I am in Greece right now. But I'm probably on a yacht, sunburnt, 3 sheets to the wind right now. But anyway, once I get back from Greece, then I will hit the ground running on this, and hopefully I'll also be reading your comments while I'm in Greece right now to see what you guys think of how I should proceed with this little issue, the situation. But I really can't go much further at this point in the video. I don't even know, is this gonna be like a 8-minute video or a 20-minute video? I really can't. It's one of those videos where it just kind of like unravels organically. I don't really have a plan for it. And then it just takes a turn, and I'm just like, what just happened? Is this content? Is this content? I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I have to cut it off here. There's nothing else I can do. Board's dead. Yeah, so thanks for watching. This was at least a fun little update on Chrometheus. I kind of am excited. This video got me excited once again about Chrometheus and the possibility of finally getting him up and running once and for all. But as you can see, it's going to be quite a bit of a journey to get through it all. But thanks for watching this one, guys. Toss a like on it before you go. If you enjoyed it, get subscribed for more tech content on the way, and I will see y'all in the next video.